When the mosquitoes became unbearable, they were even capable of killing a wolf pup. When the father returned from hunting and saw the dense swarm of mosquitoes around the den, he immediately knew this place was no longer safe. Without hesitation, he decided to relocate the pack. The new den was 8 kilometers away. The father ran swiftly, and the youngest pup barely kept up. After a long stretch, it fell behind the group. The father eventually reached the new den with most of the pups. Here, there were far fewer mosquitoes, and the environment was much safer. But he didn't notice that one pup was still missing. By then, the pups were hungry. The father went out hunting without a second thought. Meanwhile, the mother returned with the pack to the old den. What they saw immediately put them on high alert. The pups were gone. The pack split up, spreading in different directions to search. Following the scent trail, they finally found the new den 2 days later. Yet upon inspection, they realized one pup still hadn't arrived. The pack began howling, calling repeatedly for the missing pup, refusing to give up until every last pup was accounted for. The mother personally led the search. Back at the den, only she remained to guard the other pups. Even as the pack scoured the wilderness, the area was vast, and finding a single missing pup was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Meanwhile, the lost pup stayed in the same spot for 2 days without moving. Its howls grew more desperate. Exhausted and starving, it was nearly drained of all strength. At that moment, what it needed most was the pack, still miles away. The mother, following her instinct, sensed the pup was in danger. She broke off from the main pack to search alone. The pup's howls could carry for miles, but only if the wind was right. When hope seemed nearly gone, it left its only shelter, deciding to actively seek the pack. Howling repeatedly into the canyon, it relied on the hope that someone would hear. The mother trusted her instincts completely. Suddenly, she heard a response. The pup had made the right choice. It was the only chance. Locking onto the sound, she followed the howls step by step. After 2 days and nights, she finally found the pup. But it wasn't time to celebrate yet. The other pups were still hungry. At that moment, the father returned with prey, finally solving the pup's hunger. The pups ate non-stop, almost as if the father, who had caused the initial separation, had been forgotten. Once they were full, the mother led the pack, officially beginning their hunting lessons. The T-Rex had just taken down a massive Triceratops, but the victory came at a terrible cost. A 15-inch gash tore across its body, and part of its tail had been bitten off. The prey was down, yet the T-Rex itself could still die from infection. It needed to eat quickly to regain its strength. Dragging its injured body, it made its way to the river. The T-Rex couldn't treat the wound directly. Its only option was to submerge itself in the water, washing away blood and bacteria. As the blood spread through the river, danger quietly approached. The T-Rex snapped to attention, its eyes fixed on the far bank. Another adult T-Rex was walking slowly toward it. They were known to hunt each other too. For an injured T-Rex, this was almost the worst-case scenario. Its wounded hind legs made it sluggish, and facing an opponent of similar size head-on left it with almost no chance of survival. But then it noticed a crucial detail. The approaching T-Rex was female. The male immediately changed his strategy. He slowly raised his neck, fully exposing the most vulnerable part of his throat. In the world of dinosaurs, this was more than a show of weakness. It was a clear mating signal. The female approached cautiously, examining the scarred, battle-hardened male. His injuries told a story: fierce, strong, and experienced. This was exactly the kind of mate she wanted. Finally, she raised her own neck in response, accepting the pairing. They retreated together into the forest to mate. Over the following weeks, this ritual repeated until the female successfully became pregnant. After expending so much energy, they would need to hunt again. Soon, a herd of herbivorous dinosaurs migrated into the area, including hadrosaurs. The T-Rex pair didn't act recklessly. Not far away, a group of dangerous Triceratops roamed. To minimize risk, they chose to hunt at night. Once darkness fully cloaked the forest, the hunt began. Both T-Rexes moved simultaneously. Their night vision remained sharp, and their thick feet made almost no sound. The hadrosaurs, however, had poor night vision and could barely see the ground at their feet. Even when the T-Rexes were within 30 feet, the herd remained oblivious. The T-Rexes didn't rush in recklessly. Instead, they flanked their prey. Once both predators reached the optimal positions, the male struck first. In an instant, silence shattered. The hadrosaur herd panicked, fleeing in every direction. At that moment, the female, lying in ambush, launched with lethal precision, clamping her jaws around a victim's neck. It barely had time to struggle. The male charged in, pinning the prey to the ground with brutal force. Faced with predators like these, no ordinary herbivore stood a chance. In the end, the hadrosaur became the T-Rex pair's prey. A duck-billed dinosaur was feeding on silt in the river when it suddenly caught the attention of a Tyrannosaurus rex. Before it could react, the T-Rex pounced, sinking its teeth into the duck-billed dinosaur's neck. The sharp teeth pierced the skin, and the intense suffocation made the duck as blood poured from its body. The duck-billed dinosaur soon collapsed, lifeless. Just as the T-Rex was preparing to feast on its kill, a herd of duck-billed dinosaurs arrived on the scene. As social creatures, they were enraged by the loss of one of their own, but facing the sheer power of the T-Rex, they could only stand at a distance and hiss, hoping to intimidate it. The T-Rex, however, remained unmoved. A few brave duck-billed dinosaurs ventured closer, which only angered the T-Rex further. It opened its mouth wide and let out a terrifying roar, its blood-stained teeth glistening. The surrounding herd quickly retreated in fear. While the T-Rex continued its meal, a small pack of raptors silently approached. These smaller predators often scavenged from other beasts, but dared not attack a full-grown T-Rex. They waited patiently for the T-Rex to finish its meal, hoping to sneak in and feast on the remains. As the T-Rex prepared to sleep, it suddenly heard a loud, agonizing cry. Its own young had fallen victim to a scythe claw, which had pierced its body. By the time the T-Rex arrived, its offspring was already swallowed whole by the scythe claw. The T-Rex was consumed by rage. It charged at the scythe claw, but as lashing with its claws, the T-Rex. Rex never loosened its grip. With its powerful bite, the T-Rex soon suffocated the scythe claw. Though the T-Rex had avenged its young by killing the scythe claw, it paid a heavy price. Its body was covered in deep, painful wounds, and recovery would be difficult. It could only sit by the river, cleaning its injuries and waiting for fate's judgment. If luck wasn't on its side, it might not survive the night. A she-wolf became pregnant with the Wolf King's pups, but was ruthlessly abandoned by her pack. Since she was not the alpha female, the news of her carrying the Wolf King's cubs was unacceptable in this pack, which followed strict monogamy rules. To make matters worse, the true alpha female was also pregnant. Eventually, with the Wolf King's tacit approval, Mary, the she-wolf, was driven out of the pack. Pregnant and without the protection of the pack, Mary found it extremely difficult to forage for food on the predator-filled island. She was forced to scavenge what remains of other predators' meals on the beach. Meanwhile, the alpha female, under the Wolf King's protection, had already found a hidden tree hollow to give birth in. She had no worries about food, as the Wolf King and the pack brought it back from their hunts every day. Mary's situation was much worse. She was still exposed to the harsh elements, unable to find a suitable place to give birth. After a storm, Mary arrived early at the shore, hoping to find some animal remains washed up by the waves. Soon, her sharp nose detected a dead sea otter, likely leftover from another predator's meal. Mary didn't hesitate. She began devouring the fresh meat. After all, it had been so long since she had tasted anything this fresh. However, after just a few bites, the owner of the prey appeared, the Wolf King. Despite Mary still carrying his pups, the Wolf King showed no mercy. He intended to take the remaining food back to the alpha female. Mary, reluctantly, picked up a small piece of meat and quietly left. 3 months later, the alpha female successfully gave birth to 2 pups. Once she ensured the area was safe, she ventured out of the tree hollow with her little ones for the first time. The alpha female had to constantly watch over them, while her mate, the Wolf King, continued to bring back food every day. Meanwhile, Mary also gave birth to her pups, but her life was far different. To find food, she often left her pups in the den and ventured out alone. Hunting on her own was incredibly difficult, and Mary knew it. Today, she had spent the entire day without finding food. If this continued, both she and her newborns would face starvation. In her despair, Mary made a bold decision. She would head towards the tree hollow where the alpha female lived. Typically, wild sea wolves would quietly attack rival dens to steal food and even eat their enemies' pups. Right now, the alpha female's pups were playing outside the den, completely unaware that danger was near. Mary carefully approached the entrance, taking every step cautiously, fearing that the alpha female might detect her.